let's dive straight in. Today, we're decoding something that sits at the absolute foundation of global entrepreneurship. We're talking about the true, unvarnished costs of opening and running a business in the United Kingdom. We're going to look right past the marketing hype, dig into the actual data from the 2026 Complete Guide, and break down exactly what you can expect to spend in this explainer. So here's the ultimate question, right? How much money do I actually need to open a company in the UK? We hear this all the time. The UK remains one of the absolute best places on the planet to start a business. It's got a super straightforward legal system and, honestly, incredible access to international markets. Because of that massive global appeal, ambitious founders everywhere want to know what the real price tag looks like. Well, okay, let's dive into this. The short answer? Getting your name on the register is surprisingly cheap, but the real cost? That depends entirely on you. The initial price tag looks incredibly low, but whether you're running the whole show from your living room sofa or setting up a full-scale professional operation, those operational choices are going to dictate your actual budget.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover the bare minimums. Second, building your operations. Third, uncovering the hidden costs. And finally, DIY versus pro budgets.
Okay, moving right into Section 1, the bare minimums, legal requirements and incorporation.
£50. That right there is your anchor number. Every single UK limited company has to register with Companies House, and this £50 is the standard government fee for online registration. Think about that for a second. For less than the cost of a nice dinner out, you are literally buying the creation of your legal company, complete with a certificate of incorporation and a company number. It is incredibly cheap for an absolute bare minimum.
But how you register actually matters. Going digital is a total no-brainer here. Online incorporation costs that standard £50 and has a lightning-fast 24-hour turnaround. But if you decide to go old school and print out a paper application, not only does the fee jump up to £71, but you're going to be waiting several days. Going digital saves you cash and gets you legally recognized almost immediately.
Now, here's a massive point of relief, especially if you're an international founder. There's this super common myth out there that you need a giant pile of cash just sitting in a bank account to prove you're a legitimate business. Not in the UK. There's absolutely no minimum share capital required. In fact, tons of highly successful UK companies incorporate with literally just one single ordinary share. You do not need thousands of pounds locked away just to get the ball rolling.
All right, Section 2, building your operations. The forks in the road.
Now, what's really interesting here is this first major fork, your registered office and director's service address. Option 1 is a completely free DIY approach, just using your own home address. The massive catch, though? That address becomes completely public on the Companies House register for literally anyone in the world to see. Option 2 is a virtual office, which usually runs about £20 to £150 a year. Paying that little extra protects your personal privacy, and honestly, it just gives your business a highly professional image right out of the gate. The next fork is banking, because you absolutely must separate your personal and company finances. Thanks to the digital banking revolution, the baseline here is literally free. You get free setup, a debit card, mobile banking, the whole shebang. But as you scale up and start needing more complex features, maybe international business support or multi-currency tools, you might get pushed into the premium business accounts tier. That's going to run you anywhere from £5 to £25 a month. And then we have the big one, accounting. Look, you can absolutely DIY your bookkeeping with software that costs maybe up to £35 a month. But hiring a pro, that scales up steeply based on how active your company is. A simple dormant company might only cost £300 to £500 a year in accountant fees. But if you have a small, active business, that jumps to £500 to £1,200. And a rapidly growing company, you can easily exceed £3,000 annually. It's a real investment to reduce your tax risks and admin headaches, but yeah, it is a significant cost. Which brings us to Section 3, uncovering the hidden costs, the things founders often forget. Okay, have you ever heard of the confirmation statement? It's a tiny £34 annual fee, just 34 quid, but it is absolutely mandatory. Every single UK company has to file this every single year to confirm their company info is still accurate. It's small, sure, but if you forget it, it's kind of like ignoring a digital parking ticket. It just causes massive compounding compliance headaches down the line. Because remember, that initial £50 just gets you in the door. Keeping the lights on is an entirely different story. So the crucial point here is these easily forgotten operational expenses, things like accounting and payroll support, payment gateway fees taking a cut of every single sale,
website maintenance, public liability insurance, which can run hundreds of pounds a year, plus professional subscriptions and banking charges, they add up incredibly fast. These are, hands down, the #1 cause of early cash flow issues for new businesses.
And we definitely can't talk about business without talking about taxes, right? Now, while registering for VAT is actually free, running a successful company means you have to pay corporation tax on your profits. Let's put that into perspective. If your company earns, say, a $100,000 profit, corporation tax is quickly going to become one of your largest annual expenses, right behind salaries. Opening the company is cheap. Actually succeeding requires some really careful tax planning. So let's wrap this up in Section 4, DIY versus pro budgets. Two very different paths to launch.
Meet our first avatar, the budget startup. This is the ultimate bootstrapper's blueprint. You pay the £50 company's house fee, add a minimal £30 for a registered virtual office to protect your privacy, use free digital banking and software, and put maybe £80 toward a basic website. Boom. You launch for roughly £160. This is the absolute perfect, lean, mean setup for freelancers or a sole director testing out a brilliant idea.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast with our second avatar, the professional small business. If you're entering a market where you need an immediate, heavy-hitting professional presence, the game completely changes. A premium virtual office setup, hiring an accountant right away, securing professional insurance, building a robust 1,000-pound website, and protecting your brand with a 170-pound trademark, well, that brings your year one total to roughly 2,740 pounds. It's a completely different trajectory when you need that pro polish from day one. So here is your reality check. Regardless of how you start, most small UK companies settle into spending between £800 and £3,500 every single year just on compliance, software, and administrative upkeep. And critically, listen to this, that completely excludes your taxes and employee salaries. You absolutely must have this concrete annual maintenance budget baked into your business plan from the very start so you don't get totally caught off guard after year one. We've officially busted the £50 myth. The real question isn't whether you can afford to start a UK business. No, it's whether you're budgeting to survive your first year. So, what's it going to be? Will you bootstrap for £160 and hustle your way up? Or are you going to invest that $2,700 for an undeniable day one professional edge? Your strategy dictates your survival. Which setup will you choose?